Hello, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. Bienvenidos. Today I'm going to be doing my step-by-step foundation routine for you guys. I'm going to show you how I get like a full coverage, flawless look while avoiding like the heaviness and the cakiness on the skin. A portion of today's video is sponsored by Sephora, which is so exciting. I'm actually going to sit here and chat while I'm doing my foundation. I'm going to chat about different ways that you can find your foundation match and your foundation shades in the foundations that they carry in store. This is actually something I get questions about a lot, so I was really looking forward to doing this video for you guys, especially when they reached out to me. I was like, yes, I'm here for it. I'm gonna share with you exactly how you can find your foundation match. I know it's a struggle, but I actually use a lot of these ways to find my own personal shades, like in my Fenty Beauty foundation and a lot of the foundations that I get from Sephora. So I know this video is going to be helpful. I know a lot of you will enjoy this, so I'm excited to film this for you guys today. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so my main focus today is going to be on the skin prep, foundation, basically everything that I've been doing recently to get a flawless full coverage look without looking cakey. And this is essential, especially for spring and summer, because if you're anything like me and you have oily, acne prone skin, it gets a lot worse in the summertime. You get a lot more oily, you get a lot more greasy looking, and you're a lot more prone to getting cakey looking foundation. So as far as skin prep, recently I've been using my It Cosmetics Confidence in a Gel Lotion, and I'm going to use this to go ahead and moisturize my skin today as well. You can see even before putting any kind of moisturizer on my skin, it already looks a little bit more on the glowy dewy side. Because like I said, I do have oily skin, but that does not mean I do not moisturize. I still like to add hydration to my skin, which I think anybody should, no matter what skin type you have, dry, oily, combination, normal, you should always moisturize. And I obviously did my eyes and my eyebrows off camera, but if you guys do want to see a tutorial on this, please let me know in the comments and I will definitely film it for you guys. Moving on, I'm going to go ahead and prime my skin, and this is also going to add a little bit of glow. I'm using my Henriksen Banana Bright Face Primer, and I have really been into this ever since I purchased it. It just adds more glow and it makes your skin look a lot more awake and bright. And I mainly focus this towards the center of the face, and then I push it outward. I don't do much of this on my forehead just because I don't need to brighten my forehead. Like, my forehead's already, it's there, we see it, we get it. So I don't apply it there, but I do it a little bit more like on my cheeks and stuff. For foundation today, I'm using one of my personal favorites, which is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Foundation in the shade 280. And I'm going to talk a little bit about this foundation. I'm going to talk a little bit about my skin type as I'm applying it as well. So as I mentioned, my skin is a lot more on the oily, acne prone skin side. So when I look for foundations, I look for something that is going to target that. It's going to target larger pores. It's going to target oily skin. It's not going to clog my pores. It's going to be a little bit more on the lightweight side, but I still want that coverage because, as you can see, I do have hyperpigmentation. Let me apply it as I'm talking. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. When I first went in to get a shade for this foundation, I was a little bit lost. I actually had to go in a few times to find a good shade. And I think it's common with this one just because there are so many different shades to choose from, which is a good thing. There are actually a total of 50 shades in this foundation now. But it's also a little bit difficult, obviously, to find a shade. So you can always, like, I get a lot of questions when I post videos on this foundation, like, how did you find your shade, which is your perfect match. What you can do, actually, if you guys didn't know this, you can go online on Sephora's website. I'll have a link below. If you already have a foundation that you love, whether it's drugstore or it's from Sephora or from wherever it is, you can always go online too or in store, and you can say, hey, I use this shade in Laura Mercier, but I want to get a Fenty Beauty foundation. you can color match yourself that way too, just by knowing your shade in any other foundation that you use. You can always also go in store, if you guys didn't know this either, you can get shade matched by one of the beauty advisors there, and they can even give you like a free little sample too of whichever foundation you're looking for. At first when I went in, I think I got shade 330. It didn't work out for my skin tone. It was a little bit too deep, it was a little bit too warm. So I ended up going down to 310, and I even tried 300. Like, I swatched both of them. I think I brought 310 home. And I was like, geez, this is not my shade. So that's when I went ahead and did like the shade matching and everything. And I ended up coming it down to 280, which is the one I'm using right now. And it matches, you can see it matches me really, really well, especially right now because I don't really have like a tan or anything. So I just think nowadays it's so much easier to find foundation, which is really nice because it can be kind of overwhelming when you go in store and you see like a ton of different brands and then you see a ton of different shades and you're like, all right, like how am I supposed to find a foundation that does everything that I wanted to do and then find it in my skin tone? It's a lot, and I understand. So luckily they made it a lot easier for us to shop, you know, by doing that. But just in case you guys didn't know, because that's one of the most common questions I get when I post about this foundation or when I post foundation reviews in general. Like, how do you find your shade? Or if I'm, you know, this shade in this, what would I be in this foundation? And you can now find everything, you know, on your laptop or on your phone. So you can see how that gave me like automatic coverage. It doesn't look too matte, too flat. It also is very lightweight. If you've tried the Fenty foundation, when you first pump it, it kind of like runs down your hand. So it's liquidy. It's not super thick and heavy and cakey looking on the skin at all. I always try to blend as much as I can around my nose because that's where it kind of like creases and cakes up on me the most. What I also recommend is don't apply as much foundation around there. Blend it like towards this way, but don't put like a big old glob of foundation right here because it's really gonna like cake up. All right, the skin is nice and covered up. It's nice and even. We have great coverage. So I'm gonna move on to concealer, and I'm using my Jouer Essential High Coverage Liquid Concealer in the shade Butterscotch. I promise you this foundation has never failed me. I'm looking up close and it looks all like airbrushed. I'm just letting my concealer kind of sit a little bit, kind of marinates before I go ahead and blend it all out. I am going for that glossy skin look. So what I'm going to do is put a little bit of my Sephora Radiant Luminizing Drops in Ultra Light. Gotta shake it up. I'm going to put a little bit of that like on the high points of my cheeks. I'm going to do some there. I'm going to do some here. This is going to show up a lot more on like the forehead because right now we're going to put powder under here and sometimes it kind of drags out this way. So then what I do is put a little bit of this like right here because I don't apply any powder here, just in case I end up covering some of this with my translucent powder. Speaking of translucent powders, the one I'm going to use today is my Fenty Instant Retouch powder, and I have it in the shade Banana. See how when sorry, I'm trying to close this. See how when I applied my powder, like it kind of came out this way? So I mainly try to do this like in the center and right here because I want the glow that I applied right here to still peek through. Let's finish off the base and the foundation of this look with a little bit of blush, highlighter, and bronzer. So for my bronzer, I'm using my Benefit Hoola bronzer in Caramel. This is one of the newer shades. I'm also using my Mercier Illuminator in Indiscretion. And my blush, I'm using the Sephora Collection blush in Hot Flush, which is this nice orangey color. And that is everything I've been using recently to get like my full-on foundation routine going. I know this is not going to fail me. It's not going to get greasy, cakey, or slippery throughout the day. It's going to last. You can see it covered everything. You can't see any of my hyperpigmentation, and it's like the perfect match for me as well. Again, I'm actually gonna put below the link to the foundation finder quiz, but I'm also gonna put other ways that you can find your foundation shade and different foundations online and even in store at Sephora. So make sure to check the description box for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, huge thank you to Sephora for partnering with me for a portion of today's video. I love you all. Les quiero mucho. And I will see you all in my next video.